Today, we'll be looking at some of the best hacks that will save you money on a low budget. So keep watching if you want to learn how to start saving money even faster. If you're stuck working a 9 to 5 that pays you in minimum wage scraps, you're probably looking for a way to live better on a budget. Throughout this video, we will be sharing amazing hacks that will definitely help you put some cash aside on a low income. But before we get started, please remember to take a quick second and support our content by liking, subscribing, and turning the notification bell on. This helps us to create more videos like this for your entertainment. If you're all set, then let's get started. Number 1, you need to learn how to make your budget work for you. Budgeting is the first and most important thing when you are trying to save money on a low income. If you come up with a budget that works for your needs, then you will find life to be a lot easier on your part. With the right budgeting system, you can spend money on all things you want without breaking the bank or going broke for months on end before being able to scrap your finances together. So how exactly can you make your budget work for your needs and achieve a more relaxed lifestyle? Well, let us enlighten you on that. If money has been tight, budgeting may seem like a hassle because you are already running on a tiny income. So how you are meant to cut back when you have already been doing exactly that for a while? Well, it's quite simple. You need to know what payments are the most immediate ones and prioritize them before doing anything else. These could be bills, debts, housing expenses, or food spendings. With the remainder of the money that's virtually in your hands, you can divide your income between savings and entertainment. Even if you set aside $100 a month, you will have an emergency cash stash for when you are struggling with payments. That right there will prove to be a bigger relief than you can tell right now. However, budgeting isn't just that. Making your budget work for you takes a professional approach, and this could call for some schooling. Consider taking budgeting courses online. There are quite a few options for you to choose from, and the best news is that most of them are free. You can also download free electronic books online if you prefer reading to listening or watching. 2, you should try to lower the cost of your bills. If you are getting enormous amounts of bills delivered to your door every other month, then it's time for you to do a budget check and lower the cost of your bills as much as you can. Consider how much energy you are consuming throughout your daily life. If your power bill is quite high, then you might want to look over the kinds of appliances you're using on a daily basis and find alternatives to them. For example, if you find yourself using an electric mixer a lot but you can't afford to cover for how much energy it spends, you could try using a whisk just like they did in the old days before electric mixers were a thing. Or if you are using the microwave to make a bag of popcorn every 2 to 3 days, you could consider making bigger batches of popcorn in a pot on your stove. The same goes for heating and cooling expenses. If you can use a fan instead of the AC, you should prefer the fan because it will cost you less. On days when it is cold, you can try first to wear some layers before resorting to cranking the heat up straight away. Little things like these will add up to save you a couple $100 every month if you do it the right way. You can then transfer the amount to a savings account and get interest rates on it. Number 3, you should try downsizing your house or moving to a cheaper location. Is housing expensive where you live? If your answer was yes, or if you immediately started to nod, then you could consider downsizing your house or moving to a cheaper location. This is because smaller apartments tend to cost less on the rent side of things and also don't really require a lot of upkeep. However, all is not lost. If you can't see yourself living in a smaller space, you can find an equally big house in a cheaper area by relocating. Sure, it might call for a change of lifestyle, but you should remember that it will be a temporary fix until you get your finances in order. If you are shaking your head at the thought of leaving your current house, then you are only left with one option. Your last option is to share your house with someone who can split the cost. You can get a full-time housemate or try to rent out some of your extra space. If you have a music room, you can rent it out to indie artists who are looking for a recording space, or you can Airbnb your guest room for some much-needed extra cash. Number 4, you should tackle your debts first. If you are in debt, whether it's due to a loan you took out, your mortgage, or car payments that you couldn't get around to in time, then you should tackle those expenses first. Being stuck in a never-ending rut of loans will only hinder your finances in the long run because you won't be able to spend all of your income due to the amount of debts you have to pay. Try to pinpoint how much you have to pay in installments each month to tackle your debts. Once you have a definite number, try and save the rest of your money as much as you can by cutting costs back using these hacks. Over time, as your debt lessens, you will be able to save more money and slowly come into a more comfortable way of living. Number 5, you should stick to eating at home as much as you can to lower food costs. Eating out or ordering in may look like such a practical option, especially when you don't feel like cooking for yourself on that particular day. But you need to realize that they are also extremely costly after a point. Plus, by going out to eat, you are essentially agreeing to pay for more than what your food is worth. Restaurants and takeout chains charge you for both ingredients, worker fees, tips, and profit. Now, at the end of the day, it likely doubles the cost of that simple burger you have been craving all week. If you buy the patties, the buns, and the filling separately and cook them yourself, you can pay the same amount for 4 times the number of hamburgers you get at a fast food chain. Pretty practical, isn't it? Another benefit of eating at home is that you get to eat healthy and therefore be more in charge of your well-being. Meals that are cooked at home are the healthier option overall because they don't have refined salt or sugar, plus they lack the artificial ingredients you're getting from the capitalist food places. Eating full and healthy meals also contributes to your mental health. Researchers say that patients who suffer from depression can benefit from eating 3 meals a day at the same hour of day repeatedly. This routine helps them settle into a comfortable zone and slowly adjust to the daily living pace that they might have been failing to catch up with in the past. In short, buying the ingredients from grocery stores and cooking your own meal equals a healthier, cheaper way of living. Trust us, both your bank account and your overall health will thank you for it. Number 6, you should try to find free ways of accessing entertainment. Entertainment is an essential part of your daily living, especially if you mean to keep your spirits high. But what most people fail to understand is that the entertainment has many forms. It doesn't always look like spending a night out with friends at a fancy club, or taking a European vacation for a month. Entertainment can vary from person to person, and it can take many different shapes depending on the person in question. Some people might find entertainment in going to movies, whereas some might find it incredibly relaxing to read a book or spend time with loved ones while focusing on a quality activity. Once you learn what forms of entertainment you prefer best, you can go about finding ways to access it for cheap. For example, cheaper alternatives for movie junkies can be matinees or drive-in movie places, whereas readers can thrive on going to libraries to borrow books for free or visit a secondhand bookstore if they are looking to buy a copy for cheaper. For people who like staying home, different methods of entertainment can look like watching game shows, completing puzzles, playing board games, or cooking with or for loved ones. Once you get the swing of learning to enjoy certain activities and doing them for cheap, you will have so much money left on the side to use for other purposes and matters that are more pressing. Number 7, you should look into ways of increasing your income through side hustles. Sure, not many might be into the idea of side hustles because coming home from work to do more work isn't exactly appealing, but side hustles can be a great resource for some extra cash on the side. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything time-consuming either. You can drive in partnership with a food delivery place, or become a dog walker if you are good with animals. If you have physical disabilities or lack a driver's license to pick up a second job as such, you can always resort to having a freelance career that fits your schedule. Your hourly rates might not be what you expected first, but as you grow your business, you will have the room to increase your fees. Who knows, maybe you could even quit your 9-to-5 corporate job and start a full-fledged freelance business over time. Do you think that freelancing is worth a shot? Let us know in the comments below. Number 8, you should take a preventative attitude towards health fees. There really isn't much that you can do to cut back on insurance fees. However, you can make sure that you don't get as sick as much. That way you can avoid dealing with hospital bills. Getting a full night's sleep of 8 hours can be a great start, and as we mentioned before, eating healthy food will do wonders for your body. You should also try avoiding stressful situations whenever you can. If it's out of your control, then focus on yourself first and foremost by doing some mindfulness exercises that you can easily find online. Once you avoid stressful situations, you will also be avoiding toxic people who may be causing you to spend more money. So that's quite the win-win situation. And that marks the end of our video. If you enjoyed watching this, then be sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up. Want to be the first to know when you have a new video? Then turn on the bell to be notified every time that we upload one. Finally, if you're looking for something to binge on, you can click on the video that's currently on your screen, and we'll see you in the next video.